So in this video, we'll be giving a preview of the upcoming new zone for patch 11.2, which is going to be called Caresh. To get here, we'll pick up the initial starting campaign questline from Locust Walker, who's gonna appear in Dornagal. From him, we'll be able to open up a portal to the new zone. This portal will be right beside the portal that takes us to Stormwind. Once here, we'll be greeted by the Careshi's home world. In this zone, we'll have 3 major subzones, or in this case, floating islands. Aside from that, we'll be able to freely fly regardless of where we are. Zooming out for a bit, we'll talk about points of interest that we've discovered so far during PTR. So we'll start with Tazesh, which is where we'll portal in from Dornagal. In here we'll have 2 dungeons, which is going to be the Ecodome, which isn't accessible as of yet, and the Tazesh the Veiled Market, which is a dungeon from Shadowlands. In the main building we'll have the innkeeper and other merchants, but in here will be the quartermaster for the newest faction coming to patch 11.2 called the Caresh Trust, which will be another 20-track renowned faction. Now, outside of the city of Tazesh and surrounding it are going to be beasts NPCs. These are going to be called Scrap Drift Burrowers and the rare called Grubber. Connected to the platform to Tazesh will be a flight path to Hossa's Rest, which will take us to the next island. Now, once there, towards our left will be the ruins of Ythorne with a phase diving mechanism portal nearby it, and just a little bit further is going to be called the Ecodome Primus. Now, I'm not gonna spoil too much, but during PTR we only spent a little bit of time here, which is quite a shame since apart from the Oasis, another place similar to this, the Ecodome Primus is a beautiful place. You know, a nice change of scenery from all the desert and void wasteland theme of Caresh. Nearby the Ecodome will be the serrated peaks with another phase diving mechanism located here. Now, moving on to the next island, there will be a dragon flying funnel that helps you fly upwards, connecting Tazesh to this next island, and this one is going to have North Safod and the Oasis. Now, the funnel connects us to a flight path called Ravan, and directly in front of it is what appears to be what was once in Ecodome itself, but is now in ruins with a bunch of dead scavengers and void-touched hoppers roaming around. Nearby is going to be the rare Sharith, the Cursed, flying around these jutted mountains to our right side, and just behind that will be North Safod itself with a phase diving mechanism near the entrance. Now, the mobs amongst the ruins are Safod soldiers who are hostile ethereals, basically enemies of the brokers who we're allied with as of the moment. Next up, we'll be going to the Ecodome, which is another botanical environment, but this one will have weekly quests and a new event called the Ecological Succession, which we can get a weekly cache from called the Wriggling Box. And this weekly cache is similar to the previous one we had, the ones that we get from event, like for example the theater trope. Now, before we move on, there's actually going to be a small island called Vanquishers Wake just behind the Oasis. Aside from the phase dive mechanism, this area doesn't have much, but during PTR we noticed that this is set as a contestable PvP area, so maybe in the future they'll add in a war mode only event that rewards us with, you know, a weekly cash or something, that or gives us materials or honor or something, or maybe it could be like a new game mode called King of the Hill. Since the place does have the phase diving mechanism, maybe it'll involve a PvP mechanic with that. We can only speculate so far, but yeah, that's about it for Vanquishers Wake. Now, before we move on to the last island, there's actually going to be this small floating land here where we'll unlock our Reshi Wraps, which is going to be our artifact cloak. At Overlook Zokshul, we'll be able to upgrade our artifact cloak here, as well as purchase cosmetic gear that will make us look like one of the Careshi, which in my personal opinion, the leather set looks quite fantastic. Now, on to the last island. In here we'll have Shadowpoint and Shandora. In Shandora, there's actually quite a bunch of ethereal NPCs here, and they're mainly humanoid. These are going to be the ethereals as well. Now, over at Shadowpoint, this will be the raid entrance to Manaforge Omega, which is the new raid coming to this patch, and as well as another raid exclusive faction called the Manaforge Vandals, which will feature a 15 renowned track faction that might be time gated similarly to how Undermine went with their raid exclusive faction. But that is going to be it for the preview. Let me know down in the comments below what part of 11.2 you like so far, and if you are a fan of the new zone, if you're loving it so far. I personally do. It's amazing. But yeah, thank you for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one.